Continuing, the subtitle says robots stealing your jobs. Reports abound about AI and robotics. Salakia. It says reports about Salakia abound about AI and robotics creating mass unemployment within a couple of decades. In 2013, academics forecast that 47% of all jobs in the U.S. could be computerized within 20 years. Let me repeat that. In 2013, academics forecast that 47% of all jobs in the U.S. could be computerized within 20 years. And in 2014, the consultancy group Deloitte, 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 it's a Deloitte, Deloitte, Del Del followed with studies in Britain, Switzerland, and the Netherlands showing similar results. The banks of America, UK, and Italy have expressed grave concerns. Is there a solution? No, but there are numbers of things that might help. That's I'm gonna just digress real quick because I remember watching the news one time and they was talking about the same exact topic, and they were saying how they could actually have a newscaster as robots, and you know how they always joking on these fucking news stations now. Like I remember the first time I was watching Fox 8 and seeing them joking around, and I asked my brother, I'm like, this looked like some bullshit. And he like, oh, it's he's like he like it because of the simple fact, most news is all stern and ain't nothing wrong with them like making not mirth, but he was making like not taking everything so seriously. But it's supposed to be serious. You get what I'm saying? Like I mean, that's show you motherfuckers mindset. But my point being, the newscaster when he actually read about how the newscasters' jobs could be taken by robotics and robots and AI, he he didn't look like he was joking there, but you know how they always giggling and making their little, corny ass joke. They wasn't laughing then. And I believe in China, they already, because like I said, China is like the head of robotics right now. I forgot what company is over there because I think it's Hanson in America is like the number one robotics company. I think Hanson is the one that came up with the Sophia thing. But China actually has I mean, like I think they more, what's the word? More more advanced than Hanson, and I think they actually was trying to do like robotic newscasters, like, and they got a lot of lifelike looking robots, So it says, is there a solution? But there are a number of things that might help. Some have suggested that any robot should be complementary to human skills and capabilities. Some robots may be used to replace or assist portions of a job rather than replacing an overall trade or occupation. But the plummeting cost of robotics and the accelerating number of tasks that can be performed could leave many without a job. There have been a number of suggestions about what we could do with a very high level of job displacement. Bill Gates, the founder of Microsoft, has suggested that companies pay tax for a robot replacing a human. This would feed into a universal basic income. I was going to do a video on that. Wow, this would feed into a universal basic income. But then, like I said, even if they was to implement that, you got to take the time to think about this. Like the brother from Kansas City, Mulla, if I'm Salaki, if I'm butchering your name, that's why I just usually, because I had trouble sometimes pronouncing some of the Hebrew names. Uh, I know it's close to that though, but long story short, he was going into how, you know, even though like you might get a pay raise every so often, the price of everything is going up as well. So at the end of the day, even if they was to like give everybody like a little punk ass universal income tax or a universal check, you probably would barely be able to pay for anything any fucking way. So I mean, come on, gas look like it's going up. I mean, I don't drive, but a lot of shit going up. I mean, it's like this is a hell of a like this is a hell of a system, and this is a hell of a test that Most High got brothers going through. We live in an amazing and beautiful time. Is it possible that all this robotization could lead to a dystopian future of poverty and destitution? That's a spirit. Is it It is possible that all this robotization could lead to a dystopian future of poverty and destitution for many. Altern- Alternatively, it could lead to a utopian future where we have greater freedom to do whatever we want with our time. Only time would tell. Hey, I'm gonna read this real quick. It says robot repair of climate change damage. They can't fix this climate change shit. You know what I'm saying? You gotta remember these motherfuckers still spraying chemtrails in the fucking sky. You know what I mean? Like Esau, man, is the devil. You know what I'm saying? Like as the impact of climate change kicks in, our food and water supplies are predicted to be less than enough for the planet's growing population. The good news is that robots can help mitigate and prevent some of the damage. Like for instance, Esau actually knows how to manipulate the weather. You know what I'm saying? And he thinks he's godlike by doing that. But to show you how much he the devil, it's not your job to manipulate. Like for instance, they feel, oh, it ain't rain enough, so to get the crops to, what I mean. But by doing that, you throwing the weather patterns off. That's why you was just still like when we was at Camp Brothers put it like this, it was springtime and snow came out of nowhere. You know what I mean? Like, brothers like, oh man, and I'm just laughing at it to a certain extent because but that's not supposed to be like that. You know what I mean? Like, spring started like fucking what like spring started like maybe like 3 weeks ago. And like it's like the 24th of March and it's snowing. We like what I mean, brothers up there like this ain't supposed to be like that. But that's because of the weather manipulation, you know what I'm saying? So you really think he gonna be able to fix climate change? Even though I've heard that's some bullshit, you know what I mean? But at the same time, it may not be. I mean, you gotta remember, like, Esau has fucked up these oceans. You done took all the gold, the silver, the actual bottom feeders, like this. You take the shrimp that's meant to clean the oceans. That's why the water's so fucking dirty. You take this shit out and sell it to people. And it says in scripture it's abomination, but you got niggas that, oh, gotta have my shrimp. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, you don't. You know what I mean? Oh, I gotta eat the pig. You know what I'm saying? A pig is a human. I mean, it's not a human. It's actually a garbage disposal. The Most High is so cold how he created everything. A pig will eat every. Have you ever seen movies where I think it was in one of those Hannibal movies where he took the pig, and he fed the guy to get rid of the body. He fed it to a pig. Pigs that eat a body. You know what I'm saying? You ain't supposed to be eating that filthy motherfucker though. You know what I'm saying? That's one of the more righteous movies I could say that Samuel L. Jackson did play in when he played in Pulp Fiction. He said, I forgot how he worded it, but he was like, I wouldn't eat the filthy motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? And then John Travolta was like, well, bacon good, and and that's Esau, bacon good, and pork chops good, and I mean, everything that's good ain't good for you though. You know what I'm saying? It's usually the shit that tastes bitter is the best things for you, and the shit that tastes good is actually the most destructive or the most unhealthy things for you. You know what I mean? Too much sugar, how you fucked up? You know what I'm saying? Anyhow, as the impact of climate change kicks in, our food and water supplies are predicted to be less than enough for the planet's growing population. They worried about this growing population, ain't they? Good news is that the robots can help mitigate and prevent some of the damage. Robot submarines go where humans struggle up and down the deep columns of ocean water that reveal vital clues about global warming change. At Monterey Bay Aquarium Research Institute in Moss Landing, California, marine biologists are spearheading this cutting-edge research. Their underwater vehicles like the Paragon are doing the grunt work of today's ocean science, and submersible robots are being used to detect and repair damage to coral reefs. At Singapore's National Water Agency, robot swans are in operation to monitor a range of physical and biological compounds in their reservoirs. Another project also in Singapore involves developing swarms of tiny robot sea turtles for environmental monitoring of the oceans and reducing the impact of oil spilling. And that's how Esau starts off. He said, oh, I'm starting off like this, to make it seem like it's beneficial. And then you'll have the devil, wearing a black suit come and secretly talk to them and take that technology and weaponize it. And several groups around the world, including one in Scotland, are working on submersible robot systems that can diagnose damage to coral reefs and then repair them. Known as coral bots, such robots will work in swarms rather like bees and ants and will be programmed to recognize coral corals and distinguish them from other sea objects. They could then work to repair those corals that have been damaged by bottom trawling, fishing boats, or natural disasters such as hurricanes by piecing them all together, allowing them to regrow. At Michigan State University, schools of robot fish At Michigan State University, schools of robot fish are helping to restore the Great Lakes. They, I didn't know nothing about that. They communicate wirelessly to provide resource managers with a steady flow of water quality data. The fish carry sensors that record temperature and oxygen levels and detect pollutants. The Scottish Association for Marine Science have been working on their own custom-built, remotely piloted aircraft, RPA, to survey some of the world's most dangerous and inaccessible arctic terrains. To investigate the causes of melting ice, the robot plane uses a laser rangefinder and a camera to measure and photograph glaciers in the polar region. This type of unique data collection by glacier experts is at the cutting edge of global warming research. Robots play a key role in detecting chemical leaks such as oil spills, leakages of explosive methane gas, and cracked pipelines. I'm going to skip all that. This is the last page. This is our future with robots. These are just a few of the areas in which robots will impact our lives over the coming decades. There will be others that we are not even able to imagine, but it should be enough to show the enormous difficulties in charting the futures of robots. Some of the possible futures are perhaps excessively bleak and dystopian, while others are overly optimistically wonderful utopias. Governments are just beginning to turn their attention to some of the problematic issues in the European, and the European Parliament has recently voted on the first report on what a law on robotics needs to look like. But regardless of any new laws and regulations, it's ultimately up to all of us to pay attention to the world of robotics, both as consumers and citizens. And I'm gonna end it at that. And but you see what I'm saying? Like, majority of people are going to accept this. At the end of the day, when you just listen to, I named all these different fields they're going to try and incorporate robotics. Come on, shit, they going to have sex bots. You know, if it's inhuman or it's an abomination to lay with, like the bestiality and you know, and the homosexuality, what do you think it's going to be like to fucking lay with a fucking machine? This is gonna be a weird, fucking fucked up society. You know what I'm saying? Like, what's that movie, The Surrogates, with Bruce Willis? And to show you how powerful Esau is, think about it. When I was growing up, you know, they had video game systems and shit like that, but people didn't spend all their time playing no fucking video game system. People went outside. You not just within what? Shit. I got children now. Within what? Say what, 2 decades, you done actually just fucking wiped out. You know how that's why a lot of these people gonna be just put down and put to death. You got people, it's probably brothers in the camps, because a lot of brothers don't work out. Like me and one of the elders in my camp was speaking on this recently. He was dropping me off for coming from camp. You know, you got a lot of brothers that work out, but come on, like for instance, this race we in isn't about being the strongest. It's about your endurance. You get what I'm saying? That's why it's a race. A race. So your cardio got to be up. I guarantee you a lot of brothers ain't got no motherfucking cardio. A lot of brothers don't even work on, I mean, that's neither here nor there. Like, a lot of brothers don't like to work on their legs. But not understanding that a lot of your punching power come from your fucking legs. Why do you think Mike Tyson has such big legs? Mike Tyson had a exercise called Mike Tyson's. They was kind of like squats. That's why he was knocking motherfuckers out like that. And he'll do like 500 of them bitches. Like a day though. You know what I'm saying? Like, anyway, my point being, a lot of people are lazy. This place has created, it's a consumer nation. So when shit hit the fan, like come on, like how it is in Venezuela, you don't think that's coming up here? I just literally said it, and enough brothers made videos about it. Like Elder Malcolm and the brother in Kansas City of the Men of Valor. You know what I mean? These floods, the first person I heard mention the floods was the brother in Men of Valor. These floods have actually hit like half of the states. It's 50 states. or supposedly 51 or whatever the fuck, but like 26, 27 states. And then, like I said, you just get into summertime, like I said, man, this shit, like I said, it's gonna be a food shortage. Probably food gonna get more expensive. So, like I said, you paying $6 for no, you probably paying like $4.55 for a pack of chicken legs. If that's the case, they talking about they lost a damn near 1 million cows. We ain't even talking about chicken. Shit about to be expensive. It ain't gonna hit you right now. It's gonna hit you when you least expect it. You get what I'm saying? So my point being, on top of, like I said, them implementing this whole fucking system. So with that, you know, I hope this lesson was somewhat edifying. With that, I want to give all praise, honor, glory, and dominion to Call Halal Allah Yahweh Ba Hashem Yahweh Shah Waha Racha Kodash Bakatan. Double honors to apostles and elders, great millstone, who taught me this truth. Peace and salutation to the Akim around the four corners of the earth, pushing the truth with faith and sincerity, risking their lives and freedom to do so. Shalom to the Akwat and the Akim out there listening and learning. Shalom to the confusion of face brethren. And once again, shalom to the hopeful elect. Stay up, stay prayed up, and constantly endure. And with that, shalom, shalom, Adawan Ratazah. I'm able to come with another lesson as soon as possible. And with that, shalom and abad babah.